Welcome to Mastering Your Monday podcast. And this is the show that talks about boundaries, work-life balance, and living a life where you have control. This is for highly driven professionals who want to develop a more balanced professional and personal life and live out their true values. Those who are ready to grab the reins and change the status quo. The professional who's ready to have a life again and who's ready to take a stand, living in a way that you feel respected, valued, and fulfilled each and every day. We talk about topics like setting boundaries, taking risks, life management, and all the tips, techniques, and strategies to help you master your Monday, one day at a time. Hey, Michelle O'Neill here. I am so excited to be here for the first episode, and I'm excited that you're here. I'm honored. So I just wanted to kind of let you know a little bit more about this podcast, about myself. Who is this chick anyway, who's talking so much about boundaries and getting work-life balance and how to, step forward as professionals who are overworked and unfulfilled. Who is this girl? But before we get into that, I just want to set the stage a little bit for you. How about that? So look at it this way. Each and every day, we are carrying the weight of performing in some capacity in every area of our lives, right? We're moms, we're dads, we're CEOs, business owners, spouses, siblings, friends, mentors, children, and oh my gosh, so much more. And each one of these roles that we find ourselves in requires us to be present and to perform in some capacity. And of all things do I understand is performance. I'm a previous performer. I don't do it anymore, but I understand the toll and the taxingness of performing. And that's what we do in all these multiple roles that we find ourselves in. And performance in some capacity, it takes energy. And I don't know about you, but for most of us, we don't have that much energy. It's not unlimited. There's a cap to that energy. But these expectations that we place on ourselves, they've escalated over time, especially being home or having to deal with COVID and so much more on our plate, being teachers, caregivers, all this. And for many of us, this stress that we're dealing with, this stress that's bogging us down, has become almost I guess you would say, a natural state. And it's time for us to grab control of that and start this journey to managing it so that it doesn't overtake us, that we're able to overtake us, that instead of it overtaking us, we're able to actually manage this, And so dealing with this stress on a day to day basis and dealing with these things, we're starting to feel unfulfilled if we haven't already, right? Stress and the feelings of being overworked, and we feel overcommitted because there just isn't enough time in a day to do everything that we'd like to do or we need to do. And this is in every area of our lives. There's so much that needs to be done at work. And because a lot of times that we're working at home, people think that we're not doing things, but actually you find yourself doing more because you're not taking the breaks that you normally would take. You're not taking the step away. I find myself actually, when I'm working, bringing my food up here and standing here at my desk, because I do have a standing desk. That's a way for me to kind of work things. But I find myself actually eating while I'm working, drinking while I'm working. And the only break that I seem to take is actually going to the restroom. I know that's TMI, and you don't need that. But those are the things that are happening. So we're overworked and overcommitted, right? At home, at work, and then you're saying, I still have to do everything the way I used to do it. I still have to perform the way I used to do, and then some. I don't get the breaks that I normally do. I still have to cook. I still have to clean or whatever it is you do. I still have to take the kids to their things that they do. I still have to do things at church. I still need to take care of this. And in fact, more people want more of your time now. They're calling you for Zoom this and Zoom that, and you need to do this. And now that you're home, I'm hoping you can do this too. So, all this is making us feel so stressful, and it hits us both personally and professional and physically as well as mentally. So, that now that I've set the stage, that's what this podcast is all about, is how do we manage that? How do we create that balance in our lives? How do we put those healthy boundaries in place? And it's all about finding a way to successfully focus on the things that matter most. We have to make those hard hitting decisions. It's discovering how setting boundaries, healthy boundaries, is key. I mean, absolutely key to creating the balance and control that we so desperately need. And I know you understand what I'm talking about. This podcast is actually, it's about having that unshakable confidence of who we are and being firm in our identity so that we're able to show up and show out, so that we're able to stand firm on the things that we believe. When we have a full understanding of our values, of our beliefs, then we have that foundation of what we want to stand on. And we get to teach others how to treat us, how we expect to be treated, because we know what our non-negotiables are. We know what's required to feel respected, to feel valued, to walk in dignity. We begin to know this and really understand this. And then we get to dive into building our legacy, because it's not just all about us. It really isn't. It's about our legacy, if not our children, is what is said at the end of the day. What do people say at your eulogy? What do people say about you when they go visit your tombstone? What are the memories that people bring up when you're out of the room? What are the things that they remember about you? Those are the things. Or are we allowing someone else in our life to take the driver's seat? Are we just scooting over in the passenger seat and letting somebody else drive our bus? That's the thing. So I want to come to you relatable. So I'm hoping even some of these illustrations that I gave you, that they're relatable to you, that they're hitting home, that you're feeling what I'm talking about, just not understanding, but that it hits you home and you understand it, that they're thought provoking stories to drive the conversation. That's what I want. And I want you to talk back to me, because it's a conversation. So whether it's in the comments or whatever, I want to hear your thoughts too. And so, on this no nonsense, fun yet candid podcast, you actually learn about creating strategies, because I'm the strategy girl. It's not about these ideas and pie in the sky type things and, oh, this is great. No woo woo here. Because if I'm gonna tell you to do something, there's a way to do it. And I want to give you the strategy and the steps to actually making it happen. And that's why you'll hear me always talking about what do you call it? Boxing and stuff. Because when you step into that ring, there's so much more than just learning the techniques, but there's a strategy, there's understanding your opponent. There's also the understanding of the mind games that are played and being prepared for that and stepping into that even before you step into the ring. So I want to help you learn how to create these strategies. I want to foster your buy-in and how teach you how to foster the buy-in of others when you set these boundaries. It's not just about setting boundaries, but they have to buy into these boundaries that you set. And it's about building a supportive community. It's really important that we have that supportive community also when we move forward. So we're going to have that among other tips to help you leave with, I want you to leave with feeling that there's hope in sight and that you have at least one actionable step that you can implement to move forward towards fulfillment and feeling more in control of your life, because that's what it's all about. We want to feel like we have control over what's happening in our lives. And so I'm really, as you can tell listening to me, I am really getting excited about sharing this and just want to throw it all, and I just don't want to throw it all at you at once, because I know that's too much. So we'll hit that another time. But let me tell you at least a little about me. I've done all this talking and haven't said anything about this woman that you're listening to anyway, right? So, who am I? Okay, I'm Michelle O'Neill, the other Michelle O. And you hear me say that. I am older than the famous Michelle O. And I was Michelle O before her because I was married before her. So, yes, I am the other Michelle O. I'm an author. I'm an author of 2 books. I'm a speaker. I'm a certified life coach. And I'm a revisionist. But more importantly, I come to you with a lot of life. See, as a retired veteran wife, mother, and who raised a beautiful child with bipolar 1 disorder, I'm a woman of faith, a retired performer, and a global galloper. So I know what it's like to push the envelope. And I have all those things, experiences, knowledge and education behind me. And it holds me up every day. And I understand hard work, pivoting, nurturing, overcommitment, and overwork. But I also get this. I understand love, excellence, and integrity. And so, above all, I strive to lead with these. Okay, we're getting too serious here. So, I want to give you a few fun facts just to remember, and you'll hear me talk a little bit more about at least one of them. But I've climbed Mount Fuji all the way to the top. I think it took a total, was it 8 hours up and 7 hours down? Or I can't even remember how long it took. It was a long time and it was about that, but it was a phenomenal experience. But there were a lot of lessons learned on that experience. And I can't wait to share that with you. I've performed for the Prince of Wales long time ago, but that was a highlight of my life and learning what Jägermeister is. And then I'm also a closet logophile. So, what is that? I love words. I love understanding words. And so, to start that off, because I say I am a true revisionist, I want you to understand what a revisionist is. A revisionist is someone who examines and helps to change existing beliefs about how we experience events or what their importance or meaning is. That's what I do with my clients. And that's what I like to call myself. But what's coming down the pipeline? Well, that depends partially on you because I want to make sure we address the things that are important to you. So take the time, as I said earlier, to comment and let me know what's on your mind and what some of your concerns may be relating to mastering your Monday. But what I'm really excited about is to bring you hard hitting conversations on things like integral effect. And we'll talk about what integral effect is, boundaries, taking risk, and periodic guests. I'll have guest experts on tackling tips and techniques and myths in their area of expertise. And I'll also be tackling some myths about mastering your Monday. But all of this is designed to help you on your journey to mastering your Monday, not just Monday, but every day. I don't know about you, but I just want to wake up every morning, if not every Monday, every day excited about what that day has in store. And if not excited, at least with the knowledge that whatever is thrown my way, I've got something for it. There goes back to my boxing thing, right? So what I want to say is life may throw you a pinch, but I've learned a block for that. And that's what I want you to do, is to learn that block for that. Now, I promise each episode I would like to live to I promise that each episode, I can't even talk now. I would like to leave you with one takeaway, something that you can act on either mentally or physically, but something to project forward movement, because I'm all about moving forward. And I heard someone just say recently, even if you fall on your face, you're falling forward. So, just recently, I also shared this question with my audience. So, today, this is what I'm leaving you with. And I want to share this with you. Here we go. If you're really looking for fulfillment in your life, you can't do it alone, because then you just be empty. So, I want you to ask yourself honestly, what can I do? And I want you to write this down. What can I do starting today to honor who I am to become? And how can who I am to become honor those that I serve? And as I said, I want you to write it down and I want you to answer it. Who do you want to become? What is the highest iteration of yourself you aspire to? I want you to write it down and make it plain. And how does who that person you see in your future honor others? Write it down and make it plain. And finally, what can you do today, this moment, to start moving you in that direction? Just one action a day, one single action to shorten that journey of becoming. You know, I'm so glad that you were able to hang out with me today for our ringside chat. You are simply amazing. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, the first episode. Ooh, I'm so giddy. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit subscribe, because there is so much coming down the pipeline and I don't want you to miss it. So after listening to this episode, I want you to visit masteringyourmonday.com/pathway. And that's where you'll find a free gift just for you. It's a little download that I put together, just one page of all my techniques to add gratitude into your life. I can't wait till the next episode. We'll see you again. Take care. I want to thank you for listening to the Mastering Your Monday podcast. I hope you learned at least one tip or technique you can walk away with and implement today. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review the show, and let us know how much you enjoyed it and what you learned from this episode. We honor your time and your commitment to Mastering Your Monday podcast. And as always, we want to remind you, you are cherished, respected, valued, and in control. See you on the next episode.